Okay, let us start recording. I think everything is set right now and must be looking good. Let me check. Yeah, it's okay. All right. Yeah. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. The Massmeverse, made out of my two names, Matt and Smith, and then verse as in universe. I love Marvel and comics, so that's where I got that from. Anyway, today the topic of the day is about overcoming hardships and getting your life back on track. So you might be asking yourself, Matt, why overcoming hardships? The thing is, that's what I've been doing for the past 5 months. And to be precise, it's about from the end of November 2023 till to March of 2024. And I started seeing the fruits of my hard work and efforts that I put in from those past months start to be, born. As in, if there were trees, that's when I started reaping the fruits and harvesting them at the beginning of April. And now we have Thursday, the 11th of April, 2024. So it's just about how I turn myself into the protagonist of my life. And that's why the video is titled Hero, Become the Protagonist of Your Own Life, and How to Do It. So, yeah, you see me looking down. This is what I'm looking at, this beautiful book. I bought it as a paperback from Amazon, and then I bought these little book thingies here for corners and decorating it. And yeah, this is where I put my notes about the 4 steps of getting your life back on track and getting a grip of your destiny to turn into that super great human and hero that you truly are or are able to become, into structured notes that come from my thoughts over the period of the past 5 months where I was struggling and doing my best to kind of like turn into someone who I can be proud of. And yeah, now I'm back on track, and that's what the video is about. So if you see me doing this and this again, that's because I'm looking down and I just am reading my notes from this book, because if you let me talk, oh boy, I'm gonna talk so much. And when I talk, there is no end, and that's not what you're here for. I'll be just wasting your time, and that's not what I want to do. So, if you want to, you can get yourself a notepad and take some notes. But you can also just pause the video, take the notes, and then continue watching. It's going to be about 1, 2, 3 DIN A4 pages of my thoughts that I put into words of the 4 steps that helped me get back to the person that I am today, because I was literally on ground zero. Let me just give you a picture of what it was like. Imagine this. You're at a point in your life where you start thinking about creating a family, building a house, maybe, or like stepping your game up in the game of life that we are all playing. And at that point, you have had a certain kind of career, which you are kind of happy to have, and you want to get to the next step, but it's not so easy. And then all of a sudden, your employer, which is my ex-employer in this case, decides to fire you because of AI, as in new tools are coming into the working world. And since you're in like the IT world, you're the first ones to be, let me say, to be hit by that wave of AI. And yeah, my capabilities and skills were no longer needed, and that's why I was fired. So keep that in mind. In my private life, I was starting to think about creating a family, moving to a bigger apartment or place with my wife, and maybe building a house from then on and having kids whatsoever, blah, blah, blah. All that was ripped away from under my feet at an altitude that was higher than I thought. And that destabilized the rest of the pillars in my life, starting from the financial aspect. And I fell face flat onto the ground, where I was confronted with a lot of despair, fear, hatred, and shame for my own self. So I started to doubt myself. I felt uncomfortable. I was miserable. I had issues socializing with people who I usually would socialize with. Not even my friends knew any of that stuff happening in detail. So, um, just like everybody else, I found that we literally have two choices. Now, choice one was for me to just give up, be angry, be miserable, fall into despair, and think about life like a piece of crap it is, and that I am a victim and making me have such a miserable life. That was like choice one. You get the gist of it. Choice two is as follows, which is also connected to the 4 steps in this book. Choice two was like, hey Matt, we are on the ground zero right now. We have fallen hard, and it's not like it was unexpected, but it came earlier than we thought it would, and thus our preparations were not at all done. So, yeah, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue sulking? Are you going to continue crying over what happened to you and how unfair you think it is? No, fuck that. I decided to just like think about it in a different way. A different mentality often helps to get you started, like to get the engine of motivation and grit and hard work and ambitiousness started. So I thought to myself, hey, I'm already at ground zero. I can't get any lower than ground zero. I mean, I could dig a hole, but that would just be a wastage of energy and it wouldn't do me any good. So, I said, fine. I have to look at what I have on ground zero, where I'm at, and my capabilities that I have had till now, gather all that I can and move step by step, one step at a time, climbing back up to get back onto my feet and re-establish my own sense of self-esteem by recreating the life that I wish for myself. Only that this time, I'm not going to put all my efforts into one basket. I'm going to have several baskets so that if one pillar is pulled away from me or right under my feet, I will not fall. I'll still have a steady standing because I used something called multiple sources and distribution. And this YouTube video and the YouTube channel is one of those new multiple sources that I'm trying to create. I don't know how far it's going to go, but as long as I have fun, that's all that counts. That's the gist of these 4 steps. So I decided to take the second choice. The first choice was misery, hatred, playing the victim. I'm not for that. It costs too much energy, doesn't make me feel good. No, the second choice would be look at yourself realistically, where you find yourself. You're on ground zero. You can't get any deeper than that. So the only way to go up, the only way to go is up. And yeah, that's what I decided to do. So yeah, let's start. During the time and period of November, end of November 2023 till to March 2024 are as follows, including the 4 steps that helped me get back on track. Beginning. Let me first see. Am I in frame? Yeah, I'm in frame. Okay. Get the voice ready. Beginning. I believe the difference in the amount of discipline one can hold regularly on a constant basis throughout life is a clear marker/indication to the result leading into some form of either success or failure. The results show up in life little by little, piling up into firm, stable monuments of either success or failure internally, which then reaffirms the external world happening around you. As in, little successes over time are a major win, as well as little failures over time turn into a major loss. Therefore, choose daily what exactly it is you wish your life or future to be full of, piled up with, and that can be either success or failure, little by little, step by step, as you wish, whatever excites you. It all takes time, and from both are valuable lessons to be learned, as in success and failure all have valuable lessons. You should look at success and failure like the wheel of the yin and yang principle. The yin is the dark big part, and the yang is the white big part. Yin is female, yang is male. And in the yin, which is the dark big part of female energy, you see a little circle which is white that enholds, let me say, that has in it the source and pure essence of light, which is the male within the female. And then in the yang, which is all light, you see a black ball, a black dot, which is the source and pure essence of pure darkness, as in that potential to pure darkness, which is the female, is also in the yang. And vice versa, you get a balancing of contrasting energies and polarities. So life is about that kind of thing, balancing of polarities and knowing thyself, because that's the greatest power you can have, my friend. People take blows and have flaws, which means no one ever succeeds all the time in life. Getting back onto the bright side, no one ever fails all the time. I, for one, have experienced for myself and seen that true success, most of the times, is born from failures, multiple failures, that someone utilized properly. What does utilizing failures or mistakes properly mean? To me, that means someone accepted the mistakes for what they were and then analyzed them, which means broke them down into bits, understood and learned from those broken down bits of, let me say, the mistakes that they made. And then on the course of breaking them down, came to an understanding that helped them notice things that in turn, over the course of time, made them gain the ability to see patterns and be able to prevent the repetition of further mistakes or similar mistakes as the ones that were caused before. And that in turn created the seeds of success that took the momentum from the process of failing, placed it into the process of success mode, and nurtured the seeds, making them stronger, sturdier, and enabling them to grow into a source of personal value, which over time turns into a kind of mass value, because the personal value that you have gained through the experience can then be taught to other people, which then gives them value in their lives and helps their lives become better, and that makes a better world for everyone. Now, true failure can also come from success. The more successful one was or is, the harder the fall is once that success is gone. Like, it's like when you're at the beginning of your career, or let me say a beginning of some kind of skill, and then you fail. It's like you're stepping onto a ladder and you're just like halfway up the ladder and then you fall. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt that much. In comparison to a mountain climber, yes, we are going to use hyperboles. In comparison to a mountain climber who is high up in the sky, and then that kind of success is pulled away from under their feet, and then they fall. That fall feels like, you're flattened. You turn into pudding. Yeah, let's get a bit gore. Your whole insides are splattered everywhere because you're squished and squashed, and it's hardly something someone can call an existence. So you have to recollect yourself. Anyway, The more successful one was, the harder the fall is. That much we know. If used properly, such a failure can propel an individual to high or even higher success levels than before. But it depends on the mentality one decides to hold once one has fallen. The key to me is discipline, escorted by or in companionship with a rising momentum, which then brings in motivation, grit, compiling results, new solutions, a greater understanding, and a new value on a personal level, which then turns into a value for a mass level, as in you get your own experiences that you break down, put them into steps, and then teach that or pass that on to other people who might be in the same kind of situation that is causing problems for them, and you already have the solution to that, which they can reverse engineer and tailor to their own selves by utilizing their own kind of understanding based on the experiences they have had in life and what they're going through to turn it into something positive that then helps them move forward and advance in life or get their lives back on track, which is the point of this whole video. Anyway, let's continue. With value comes the need of wanting to have it, that, whatever it is, solution, which means it also has in it the potential for creating resources, most likely money, that ka-ching, dollar bill, yo, that will be given to you freely by people who have gotten some kind of value out of what you are passing on to them, your solutions. That is something that Dan Coe, a guy who is a grandmaster of focus and mental prowess and super great, let me say, productivity, always talks about. You can check out his channel. I'll put the link down in the description below. So I hope, he can help you get farther, like he helped me throughout these hard times I was going through. Anyway, let's see. Where were we? Ka-ching, money, dollar bill, yo. Yeah. Add in a more fulfilling life, as in you get a more fulfilling life once you get back on track or you start gaining momentum. And that that helps to sow the seeds for inner peace, and passively you gain more confidence. That's what it's about. You gain more confidence by doing the things that make you feel good and happy about yourself, and pride comes with that, and experience, and all in all, you are a totally different person, carrying yourself in a totally different manner and way, and you have a certain air around you and presence where people are like, I want to be like that guy. I wonder what he eats. I want to be like that guy. I wonder what he reads. I want to be like that guy. I wonder what he consumes mentally. A man of culture, of course, something like manga and all that stuff has influenced me a lot. And most of the animes and mangas that I watch or read are geared towards protagonists who either go into a different world that were losers in their world or had some kind of moment where they felt lost. And then they started have that grit and try to like get your shit together. As in, tighten your ass up, look forward and straight, face your fears, overcome your worries, what they call them, hurdles, dive straight into challenges, and once you're past those challenges, you will reap the benefits. Bruce Lee said something along the lines of, never pray for an easier life. Pray for the power and wisdom to overcome or master a hard life. And once you have that, everything else will seem easy. You have confidence, you're looking great and all that stuff, you know? That kind of confidence balanced out with humility due to empathy of knowing what the beginning was like for you is crucial to keeping an organic balance and therefore becoming a person others can look up to and trust. That's what we were talking about. A key player, influencer, teacher, and guide, name it, you can be that all, who is aware at the back of their minds that a true master is an eternal scholar. Never forget that. Keeping flexibility close to the willingness of constant adaptation and learning is what will make you really propel yourself to heights that are incredible. I tend to see that people set goals that are here and they reach or achieve those goals to an extent of, okay, let me say the goal is here. They achieve something like below the goal that they set for themselves. So all my life, I've been doing my best to set my goals, let me say, up here. And I kind of get to here, but I am still above the average me who I would have been if I set my goals here and I only reach this. Now, that is the norm for me. And there's nothing about having small goals, because when they are put together and are compiled into one big thing over time, you see that it is a great achievement. So, forgetting about setting high or low goals, having no goal at all set for yourself in your life is a predicament that will lead to a poor life experience. But that's only my opinion from my experience, and that's why I do things the way I do them. Anyway, where were we? Exactly. Keeping flexibility close to the willingness of constant adaptation and learning, that to me is the cheat code to the most realistic, immersive, and greatest game ever made. The game of life that we are all playing. You literally are capable of choosing which kind of path you want to have in this life, which is akin to real games, as in what type of hero you want to play. Do you want to play a ranged hero, a melee combat type hero, a mage as in crowd controller, or do you want to be a brawler, berserk guy who just takes in all the damage and tanks it for the rest of the team, and you're some like a leader who is there for everyone else? You can also be a healer and heretic. All those paths exist in life as metaphors, which you can take, and you can become the kind of hero or protagonist in your own life. So, wherever you might be or find yourself being at in your own experience of life, no matter what age, stage, past or present, I assure you, your future is still to some degree in your hands. Let that sink in. All right. Now, there is something about pain, hate, rage, regret, confusion, hopelessness, and despair at the current moment when you haven't yet reached the kind of person you want to be, or you're on ground zero. Those are the kinds of things that will belong to your daily mental and emotional meal throughout the day for weeks and months. How do I know this? I have experienced it several times and have just gone through it again, this time consciously. And that's where the 4 steps, my thoughts, which I am currently going to read to you right now, came from. Now, for your unavoidable future, I found the following 4 steps to be a great remedy and favor to myself, and I hope to you too. Which really, till today, got me through the greatest difficulties, as in currently the greatest difficulties I had to face in my career. And that will conclude the beginning, or like the warm-up of this whole video for the 4 steps, starting with step 1, which is seeing your life as a fresh start from point 0. Picture this. Just play along. You don't have to kind of force yourself into anything. This is just my opinion, and I hope it helps you along the way. But for that to be something that can literally work for you, it would be great if you're open-minded and not too, let me say, rigid in your thinking. Remember, this is going to be a paradigm shift. That's what the warm-up was for, trying to get you into the zone or state of acceptance and openness for a new mentality to take root within yourself that might help you gain momentum in your life and start advancing towards the kind of person you want to be, the hero you are meant to be in your life, and the person who people will look up to and others would love to be around with, spend time with, and maybe even date. Who knows? If you're looking for that kind of person or that kind of thing, and that's your goal, these steps might help you in one way or another. So yeah, step 1, seeing your life as a fresh start. Just like a newborn baby, pretend you have no past. Your past is gone. It was another life of a different soul till then. So don't sweat it, don't cling on to it, because it has already happened and you cannot change it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's already gone. So chill. The you today is actually now in this moment akin to a new being with a new soul. Fresh start. That's what it's all about. Step 1, fresh start. Keep that in mind. Let it sink in and see yourself as a newborn, literally. Everything's new. That leads us to step 2. Step 2 is a bit hard to swallow and digest. So bear with me. Step 2. Realistic, clear diagnosis of yourself. What does that mean? That means persevere to stomach being realistic to yourself, as in really realistic. No holding back, no punches pulled, just raw realism. See your life from the point of a patient receiving a diagnosis from a doctor or a consumer reviewing a product giving a very objective opinion to the product. Be frank. See things as they are. Don't lie to yourself. Accept the current state of things and don't look away. It's very important not to look away because that's what it's about. That brings us to step 3. If you feel like you need a break, just pause the video, walk along and get yourself something to drink or whatsoever. We're halfway through now. Now we're going to step 3. Okay, are you back? Great. Step 3. Reset the relationship you have with you. I mean you. Exactly you. Why am I saying this? This is going to be a bit longer than the steps 1 and 2, but this is what it is about. You and your body are the first and last relationship available to you in physical form in life. Your body and you will have each other going through the best or worst of times life may throw at you. So, in that context, knowing that much, don't judge your past or present. If so, keep it at a low. Be to yourself that dream boy or man or dream girl / woman and what they would be like to you if they really had a genuine desire for you, or act like beloved family members that care about you, putting your well-being, health, and heart as a priority and necessity for them to feel good. That was a bit skippy, so I'm going to clear it up. Imagine the kind of person you would love to date, be around with, and spend a lot of time with. That kind of person, how they make you feel, how they are to you, creates an urge within you to want them to always be happy, to want them to always feel good, to want them to always have a smile on their faces. And actually, that is what you should be to yourself before trying to find another person to be that to you or trying to be that kind of person to someone else. You have yourself as the very first relationship in your life, before the relationship to your parents, before the relationship to your siblings, if you don't have siblings, to your loved ones, if you don't have any loved ones around you, to your friends, and so on and so forth. The very first relationship you have to take care of is a relationship with you in regards to how you relate to yourself. In short, See yourself through the eyes of source energy. Other people may say God, Allah, or let me say Almighty, or a parent, as in mother and father, holding their child in their arms after some birth complications for the first time. That feeling of, if the heart is still beating and there is a breath, you still have a chance, as in you, their child, still have a chance. Now, putting yourself in that state is very important. You are alive, and so you are loved. You deserve to be loved. That state can give you lots of energy and even heal wounds over time if frequently accessed. Step 3 is about accessing that state, forgiving yourself for what happened, understanding that you did your best, that was the best you could do back then, at that point in time, based on the knowledge and resources and experience and whatsoever you had at your disposal at that point in time. You are now turning into someone else. You are remodeling yourself. Like, you know the anime called Blue Lock? I'm not such a fan of soccer or football, whatever you might call it, but that anime has an intense way of showing how the protagonist, as in breaks his ego down or has his ego broken, and by analyzing mistakes of the past and deciding to learn from them, being flexible to taking information from other people and other sources, he adds all those new talents and new skills and new experiences with new possibilities to his rebuilt ego. He literally, they literally show you how his ego is being broken down like an avatar built out of many puzzle pieces. They are broken down to nothingness, and then they are rebuilt, sturdier, more firm, more complex than before, but more versatile and more experienced and skilled than before. And then he uses those skills in real time to overcome new hurdles that others didn't even expect him to ever face, because he was like a wild card. So be that wild card and be nice to yourself. Reestablish the relationship you have to yourself. Break down your ego. Understand your shortcomings. See them for what they were. And then make the most of them. And be loving and kind and gentle to yourself while you're doing that. Yeah, that's exactly what I wrote here. Be kind, frank and realistic about your present, what needs to be done, yet stay loving, gentle, non-judgmental, and supportive to yourself. It's like a muscle which becomes stronger the more you are aware of it. I can assure you it just feels good and makes you walk your talk. And when you're walking your talk, you exude a kind of air and aura around you that makes other people feel magnetized to you. I think that's where charisma comes from. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but I'm going to say that to me, that's how charisma is built, kind of. And yeah, that concludes the third step, leading us to the last point, step 4. I will have to switch pages. Step 4 is just one single word, and it is execute. What do I mean by that? Let me say that this is the most rewarding result after carrying out steps 1 to 3. Steps 1 to 3 were, let me give you a short recap. 1, life as a fresh start, viewing life as a fresh start. 2 will be having a realistic, clear diagnosis of yourself. And then 3 will be resetting the relationship you have to yourself. And that brings us to number 4, execute on whatever you have learned or whatever the steps before had, made you feel, build within you. Okay. We know this much. Your past is your past. Your present is what it is. You know of your shortcomings, mistakes, and failures, but you no longer brood over them or hate yourself for them. You are alive, meaning that you made it this far, breathing, and can still actually get things, a ton of things done. You know things, especially what you don't like, and can spot patterns of those things that you don't like, most especially maybe mistakes that happened before. You have learned how they were caused and what made them happen, like the paths you had to take to get to those untimely, unwanted results. Spotting those patterns helps you like have a weather forecast for your own life to understand that doing the same thing all the time, like Albert Einstein would say, having the same mentality that created the problem and trying to use it to get a solution is futile, because that will never happen. You have to shift mentalities. You have to do something different, reverse engineer what you already know and turn it into something positive to be different, to get different results and a different outcome, which might lead to a solution. Okay. You most likely have a vision of where you want to be at in life, who you want to become, and you will never be ready to start than you already are in this moment right now. You might try to prepare and be a perfectionist. I know what I'm talking about, as in I am really a perfectionist, not the kind of super perfectionist, but I like to have things really thought out till to the very end before I move a step forward. That makes me slower than most people, average people, but once I start executing, it makes me faster than most average people. So I spend like almost 90% of my time preparing for something, and then 10% of the rest of the time is just me executing. Unless it is examinations, that's a different case. I spent the whole of the time before preparing, and when I'm in the examination, it's executing time. So I blast through the examinations. Anyway, have a different mentality, do things differently, spot the patterns of potential mistakes, and then try to find ways to get different solutions by doing something different and being clever and smart about how you deal with hurdles, challenges, situations in your life. As in, become a kind of deep and critical thinker. Analyze every issue or problem that is thrown your way with a certain hint of a scientific endeavor. Scientists want to get to the very bottom and core of something, and when they understand something, they can bend the laws of that, whatever it is. Physicists do the same thing. That is also the process of alchemy, as in getting to the basics, mastering the basics to be able to understand all those laws that the basics are made up of, and then you can manipulate those laws to your liking after you reach a certain point of experience and knowledge. Yeah, so you care for yourself as if you are dating you and want to be that person that others would love to be around, learn from, spend time with, fall in love with, and even date. The you are learning to start to see in yourself and in the reflections in the mirrors, if you ever have a mirror around you, or when the time comes and you're already at step 4 and you look in the mirror, you'll be seeing someone different, as in something will be different about it, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, look at this, is that really me? Well, damn right it is you, because you worked for it, so you earned it. No one can take it away from you. That's a good thing about it. Now let's take it a step further. One step after another, you start doing the necessary things, at times very uncomfortable things, scary things, like me when I was, creating the script for this video, and I had the thoughts and I was just like, how the hell am I going to break down how I did it on getting myself from ground zero back up to this point where I am proud of myself. So I started writing down things, and then I had to delete notes, I had to destroy notes, then I had to digitalize everything and then put them down in a certain order and structure so that I have the 4 steps that I can present to you. So yeah, it gets scary when you're on this path. It can get lonely. It can get very humbling. But if you persevere and you just do it one step at a time and don't give up, you will get to a point where you're just like blasting through things and it will seem normal to you, where others are just like, oh my gosh, that guy is bulldozing through everything. That girl is just passing through all huddles. It's like as if she's phasing through walls. You know how the Flash phases through walls? That's what you're going to be doing, phasing through huddles. And it's because of your kind of experience, you just don't even notice them. It's just like jelly to you. Bam, you're through. And then find another solution, find another solution. Over time, it would just be so much momentum, you are unstoppable. Unless you want to stop and take a breather or a break. Whatever excites you. That is what Daryl Anka would say with Bashar. They'll be like, whatever excites you, follow that with the most excitement. Take it to the highest level as far as you can, for as long as you can, until it no longer excites you that much, and find the next thing, and so on and so forth. That will help you become the person you were meant to be, the soul meant for you to become, and then you'll be automatically sharing yourself with other people and giving or sharing your gifts, your natural gifts that were given to you as a soul with other humans, and making life just a better experience for everyone else. And that is also something that can help you contribute to leaving the earth a better place than you found it. Welcome. Yeah. One step after another, you start doing the necessary things, blah, blah, blah. Like me putting this video together. But you move on, even though it's uncomfortable and painful and at times lonely, because it is all compounding. You start noticing that the results you get are like bam, 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 bam. You know, the staircase is building itself up. Right as you step onto one new step, another step appears. One new step, another step appears. And you're going higher and higher. Just don't look back down. You can look back down just to like remember what it was like, but don't keep yourself facing back down. Just continue heading upwards. Look forward, move forward. That will also mean more experience, more fun, more efficient ways to get to the next level, making use of each day. A day, a week, a month, a year or more from here on, look back and you mightn't recognize the reflection in the mirror or what you see within you and what is expressed outwards from within you. It might be something totally magical, something totally different. You might be the Chad God, Skiller Killer, that motherfucker who everyone is just like, oh my gosh, he got riz, he got charisma, he got skill. The guy is just like, you know, killing it. Or the girl is killing it, or whatever you identify as is killing it. And yeah, that's just what your potential was from the very beginning. You just didn't make anything of it. You know, Bashar will say something like, we are in physical form, in physical reality, meaning physical reality is something that is dominated mostly by physical actions. And if you don't take the necessary actions that you are urged to from within yourself, or that you feel like you're potentially capable of, you will never reap the benefits or the fruits. You will never be able to harvest those fruits that you could harvest if you put in the necessary actions and efforts with one thing: following that excitement as your North Star or your guide. Yeah, so that's what it's about. So you look at yourself, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm looking fly. I look nice. And that will make people be like, yeah, we can see it too. You look fly, you look nice. What the fuck are you doing? Why have you changed? The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you hold yourself, you carry yourself is totally different. I don't know where it is coming from, or whatever you did, or which kind of magic you applied to yourself, or what kind of spell that was, but hey, I want in on that. And that's when you come in with, let me show you what I did to become this kind of person. And yeah, that's what the 4 steps are about, which means you will just be proud of yourself and you will love yourself. You're allowed to. There's nothing against that. And That's what we actually all live for, to find the genuine love within us and then start spreading it outwards, because the sun is shining out of our asses, is what they would say in Germany. And we are so joyfully living life with bliss, and we give back as much as we can without even thinking about it. It just happens. And that is really someone I myself would love to spend time with and be around. Okay, we have come to the last bit of point or step 4, and now I'm going to add a little bonus. That's just like the icing sugar on top. This is what's going to give you the kapow to get your shit together and get up and start doing something. So here we go. True love of yourself and life is what true success is to me. I repeat, true love of yourself and life is what true success is, in my opinion. Leaving footprints and clues to your unique path behind for others to follow becomes akin to the icing sugar on top of a cake. You know, I'm using the icing sugar metaphor a lot because, as you know, I love cake. I love eating cakes, but having a lactose intolerance is not just the best thing. So I have to find something else that's healthier. Anyway, with that, I bet you'll be having a blast when your last days come, having very little to no regrets. That is how exactly to live life and master the game of life. It is also what I have decided to do for myself, so that when the time comes and I am on my deathbed, maybe with lots of grandchildren or lots of family and friends around me, and I am about, okay, given the coming technologies, let me say about 150 to 200 years, if I'm very optimistic, I'll be like, yeah, I have lived a great life. I have done great things. And if I was to go back in time, I would do it all over again, only better than this time. And I have almost no regrets. That reminds me of the song of One Republic, I Lived. It has the same message and also sounds good. So that's what I'm talking about. That concludes my message. Hope it gets to everyone in need of it in time and is helpful. You can do something with it. Speaking of being helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to help me grow and help the channel grow. Yeah, I will keep on uploading new videos because actually I am more of a storyteller. I like telling stories and I have lots of stories that I want to tell, but I felt like these thoughts, these 4 steps were very important to me and have helped me, and I have to pass them on. I can't be selfish about that. I also got to these thoughts thanks to other YouTubers and other sources on the internet that have been sharing their, let me say, skills, gifts with everyone, where I was able to come up with this and now share it with you. Feel good about myself because I am proud of who I am today, right now, in this moment. How far have I gotten in life from the point zero I was at after being fired and applying to over 60 companies that all just seemed to not want to hire me because something was missing. And I finally found out what the something was, and that's what I'm going to be starting to work on in form of a new qualification or degree of sorts, plus another kind of back burner, let me say, side thing, which is actually even more important to me, that I already applied to, and I have been, let me say, invited to an assessment center within the next month, which means May is when it's going to happen. And I'm going to start, hitting the books hard, revising, doing the best I can to be able to, let me say, kill it in that assessment that's going to take about 3 days. Either way, it's a win-win. It's a step forward. I am getting more information and knowledge and experience, becoming a better version of myself, all in all. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you, and I hope it is going to help you in some way or another. Do your best. Don't stay on ground zero. You're all incredible humans because I am just like everyone else, just in a different way. And we all have kind of like the same blueprint because we are the Homo sapien type of like being walking on this planet. Wi-Fi trees is what you would say, a part of nature. We have the same kind of workings to a certain degree based on experiences, and making the most out of that is actually something we are all capable of. I hope that it hits home, that this is the home run, straight to your heart, giving you that burning spirit and fire that you need to go all out and, yeah, get shit done. Inspire other people in the world with your gifts. That'll be all for me, and I hereby bid you farewell. Till to the next time when I share my thoughts again. And yeah, have fun and stay healthy, and bye bye. Matt out.